Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch. My name is Travis. My pronouns are he and they, and I have the honor and pleasure of being your story guide today. Just want to double check and make sure that everybody out there can hear us because we had a little bit of audio funkery earlier. So sound off in the chat. Let us know if you can hear our pretty voices.
Being secretly in the chat, I can totally hear you.
Yep, sounds like we're doing all right.
That is the best
news
awesome. I've heard all day. It is early though, so let's see if we can top it. Speaking of topic, nope. That was not the direction that we wanted to go. Sometimes a segue sets you up beautifully. Other times it does the other thing.
Is it my turn to respond? So wrong.
Before we dive into the tale today, there are a couple of things that I absolutely need to bring to your attention. First and foremost, the Realms of Pugmire supplement Threats and Curs is now available in advanced PDF over at DriveThruRPG. This is a collection of monsters and antagonists for use with Realms of Pugmire. I had the extreme honor and pleasure of working on that book, and we got to showcase some of the creatures as well as one of the included encounters in my Curious Cats and Mouse stream that I'm running bi-weekly on Wednesdays, just last Wednesday. So if you hit the VODs, you can check out one of the encounters in action. But yeah, definitely head over there and check out Threats and Curs if you have not. Which reminds me too, it is for Realms of Pugmire. It is for the new edition. So while it's pretty easy to eyeball, if you're familiar with first edition, it's pretty easy to eyeball the conversion back and forth. This is definitely designed for a second edition use, and that book is available via backer kit on pre-order. And I believe if you pre-order now, you can get the PDF pretty much right away. And while I'm looking, thank you so much for the resub, The Old Ways. Appreciate it. Always good to see you here. And then the last thing that I want to make sure that I let you all know about before we proceed is the StoryPath Ultra core manual is currently raising funds over on BackerKit. I'm super excited about this one for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that we have just unlocked the one of the licensing programs that are going to be on offer. So we've unlocked it for the StoryPath Nexus, but we've also unlocked a limited license that people will be able to apply for to make their own books using StoryPath Ultra, which is super cool. I have some ideas myself that I will probably be pursuing. But we are not done yet. We have a little under 2 weeks left to raise some funds and lots of stretch goals to go. We have room to grow. So if you've not yet done so, head over and back the StoryPath Ultra manual. I think that pays the bills. So now that the bills are paid, let's go ahead and meet our cast, who I believe I have backwards on screen now that I'm looking at it.
Dang it. We were going to do impersonations of each other and you figured it out.
But that's okay. That is easy enough to fix. I don't even have to do anything silly. I mean, I do have to do things silly, but
what?
Look at that, magically fixed. Woo! Didn't even have to.
Wait, I was Travis temporarily.
Just a moment. I would not dare to inflict that on anyone in long term. So.
I think I look better in this corner. I like this corner.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of miss it. Like the lighting over there is just so nice.
It's a good corner.
It's a vibe.
Maybe I'll randomly swap you about again at some point.
Okay, it sounds good. Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds like a terrible idea for an episode.
And really? we'll trade play when we do as well.
Right, you just swap characters. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, of course.
That'd be a fun one-shot campaign for not this. But it would be a fun They Came From game, right? Get like 5 players and they all have 5 character sheets and you just play roulette on the screen and then they have to watch the stream so they know which character to jump into?
The director is just like really indecisive, but really likes these 5 people.
Yep. Oh, that's good. That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to do this at some point.
I will. I
Could be
will.
a Halloween
I'll
game.
start working on that
Yeah.
right away. But thank you everybody who let me know that the screens were flipped. So in their appropriate corners, let's go ahead and kick it off with Bunny. Please, if you could tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing,
Well,
your
speaking
pronouns.
of topic, hi. Anyways, I'm funny-hearted and/or Millie. My pronouns are she and her, or they and them. I am a little sick today. I hopefully it won't come through too much. The advantage of being in VT remote means you can't tell that I've got like an ice pack on my hand, so get bamboozled. But I'm so excited to be back here to this game and to be back to playing Belladonna. Blightwood. I keep saying Blackwood way back in the day, but it's definitely Blightwood.
It is.
The daughter of the previous big bad, who's now semi-reformed, and total goober. I don't know, her heart keeps like softening. She's gonna turn into like one of those ladies in the woods who like gives people swords and teaches them life lessons and things. It's gonna be a vibe.
It's quite possible. She certainly does seem to be on the wood witch / lady of the lake sort of path. We'll see. We'll see
Do
how
like
long
a good lake.
Right. Yeah. We'll see how long that carries out. You never know. You never know how things are going to go. It's always an adventure here in the Warriors of Legend. And speaking of always an adventure, CJ, your pertinence, please.
Hi everyone, I'm CJ. CJ Story pretty much everywhere. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Alice, whose pronouns are she, her, big, dumb, hero, super gay. Having a great time. So just me, except for the hero part. No,
Well,
usually I
don't
play
know,
these
CJ. You're
really.
pretty heroic.
Aw, shucks, thanks. Are you calling me dumb? No, usually I play really cerebral characters. So being Alice has been a lot of fun because she's very much like I'm not everything's black and white, but things are a lot simpler for her. Not like she's not really actually dumb, but I think she's a lot wiser than she is intelligent. So it shows. And it's been a lot of fun. So I can't wait to see what she gets up to next. She's just like, that's simple, right?
Exactly. And in the spirit of seeing what we're getting up to next, I would like to do a brief recap to bring us up to where we were because last week we unfortunately had goblins and gremlins attack the stream during our break, and we were just unable to continue after the first half. So when last we saw our adventurers, they had been discussing what's the next plan, where do we go from here. They knew that there was some unrest mounting to the north as a group of giants seemed to be gathering with some complaints, one might say, about the fact that there are Blightwoods in any sort of power. Also, just about the fact that the little folk have taken over lands that they believe belong to them. During the events of last season, Bella ran across one of the giants and I think it's safe to say made a bit of a personal enemy in that interaction. um, Inadvertently angered.
What's a little personal enemy between friends?
Exactly. And the rumor has it that that particular giant may be gaining some leverage in the giant community to the north. So the plan, as I understood it, was that our heroes were going to take a representative from the Mage Council along with them and make their way to the north to attempt some negotiation, see if they can head this thing off at the pass and avoid any sort of messy business such as a war. Does that sound about like where we parked?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I think that the idea was kind of a show of good faith and wanting peace sort of thing and go from there.
Beautiful.
I forget if we got it. We were talking about bringing a magic item with us as well, I
It
think.
had not arrived yet. As we were about to take break, the apprentice that Mustachio was going to send to you was en route, and they were intended to bring a artifact. You weren't sure quite yet what.
Alrighty. Cool.
So to bring us up to speed, Hilda, who woke from her coma to be very confused by the set of circumstances, has agreed to allow Mother Blightwood to bring her goats and the various things from her farm here to the Serpent Mountains, but is going to, for the moment, get that stuff in order, and says, you will go out on this first diplomatic mission. I'm going to stay here and get my house in order and figure out what's going on. As you are getting your various things together for the journey, the representative from the Mage Council arrives, teleporting into the throne room. You see a man, probably in his mid to late 20s. He is wearing a gray robe with very simple symbols along the neckline and one or two little sigils on the wrists. It becomes clear to you that the Mage Council seems to use their robe decorations kind of as how they do their merit badges, effectively. As they learn certain things, they get to add more symbols to their robe. So this one doesn't seem to have a whole lot under his belt. But two things do immediately catch your attention. One is the very large sack that is over his shoulder. The other is the pencil-thin mustache over his top lip, which has two very sharp and long extensions that point at 45-degree angles from the upper lip.
I think Aylis will,
I
yeah. Aylis will lean over to Bella and be like, do you think they're related or it's just like an emulation sort of thing?
wonder if they're like just a really big fan.
Maybe. We have time to find out.
Student, they're at like the front of the class, Okay, we'll ask.
Yeah, that could. Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. I've heard a lot of good things. My name is Dolly. He bows. As he bows, the two little
Good to meet you, Dolly.
mustache bits wave at you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, so I guess they sort of told you what we're up to, right?
Yes, I was supposed to help you bring these gauntlets of giant power as a token of our goodwill.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Great.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of how you all saved the world from total destruction. That was very cool of you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
We're, kind of had to, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, we live here.
Right,
so.
yeah, that's true.
Besides, it was mostly her.
Oh, no, it was all of us together.
I am told it was definitely a team effort and that you were very important to the mission, and you shouldn't really say bad things about yourself. That's what Mustachio
Okay,
always tells
fine.
me.
I'm amazing. You're right.
That's good. It's good to be right sometimes. This bag's really heavy.
Thanks, Dolly.
Can I put it down somewhere?
Hey, yeah, sure.
He just lets go of it and it just falls off of his back and makes like a castle rattling thump when it lands.
Okay, I'll carry that when we go, I guess.
I appreciate it.
You're not going to be me.
Yeah, it's heavy. Maybe we could get a cart or something.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. This is why I keep you guys around. Sure. I'll figure that one out. Yep, I'll be right back. And Aylis is just gonna go try and get something sorted out front courtwise.
Sure. You can go down to the there's like an armory and the area where the vehicles, a garage, effectively. So you can go down and speak with the serpent people there. Yeah.
Excellent.
You walk in, and there are several serpent folk working on the various vehicles that are around. The vehicles here range from simple horse-drawn chariots all the way to large metallic monstrosities that are powered by captured lightning and move on treads across the land.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the horse-drawn chariot, I think. Keep a low
Aw,
profile.
but the treads.
Sorry.
I'll never forgive you.
You walk
I
in.
know.
There's a one of the serpent people. He's got an apron on and seems to have like a hat on backwards, but you're not sure like what that's doing. It's not like it's keeping hair out of his face. So
Style.
he's like
Mhm.
pops out from underneath one of the metal monstrosities with a wrench and says,
What can I do for you?
Hi. Yeah. Well, how yeah, no, great. I just need a cart, really. Just need to carry some heavy stuff. How are things going here?
"No, everything's broken. We took a real beating over the years, and Skullface was not great on maintenance. Wasn't a big fan of it. Thought it was kind of a waste of our time. Usually had us bowing and scraping and serving. So I'm just trying to fix up everything that has been neglected for the last decade or so. Turns out it's a lot."
Yeah, for sure. Well, if there's ever anything that we can get to make that easier for you, I don't know, but we'll give it our best. Just let us know,
Uh,
and we'll see what we can find.
Training for some of these nincompoops would be amazing. You see, like he points to like two of the serpent people that have like a hammer and a chisel and are like hitting the chisel on the hammer itself, very confused, like arguing about how this thing is supposed to work.
Yeah, no. Would you say you're the most knowledgeable here?
Not to be immodest, but by leaps and bounds, yes.
Great. Well, in that case, you have a think about how we can best train some people up to help you out, and we'll make it happen.
That's great, awesome. Yeah, I will add coming up with a scholastic curriculum to my to-do list. No problem. There's a wheelbarrow
Oh, you know.
over there and a two-horse chariot over there. Which one do you want?
Uh, mm, the chariot, I think.
Great, I'll get it strapped up. Hey, you. Yeah, yeah. No, you, the other one, the one that's not actively trying to eat a hammer. Stop. You, please put some horses on that chariot. Can you manage that? Yeah. Use the harnesses. Yes. Yeah, the bit and bridle. Yep. Yeah. Yes, that one. Thank you.
Sounds like they're making progress.
I think so. Yeah. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to get back under this engine before the lightning containment unit explodes.
Yeah, that sounds great. Good luck. Prioritize that and let us know how we can support you. Ooh. Great. Yeah.
Good.
It's just gonna kind of
Good to meet you.
wobble
He
over.
slides under the thing and starts going back to work. While that's going on, that of course leaves Dolly and Bella in the throne room.
Hey,
Just kind of, I guess, I don't know. He's awkwardly staring at you as he is.
oh, he's getting interrogated. Okay, so Dolly, I have an important question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Was it your choice to grow the mustache?
I'm not really supposed to talk about it in too great
Does it
of
move?
detail. Yes.
Like magically so?
Yes.
Huh.
It's
Are you a bit of a mustache protege then?
yes. Mustachio has a group of apprentices who he has bestowed with clippings of his mustache. And so now we have all been able to symbiotically bond with them. There are very
Great.
few side effects. He starts to twitch a little bit, and you see like his lip kind of bulge for a second, and then it goes back to normal. But overall, it's a pretty
Well-
pleasant experience.
It looks great on you, and I'm sure he'd be proud.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna awkwardly look around the room now.
Alis enters the room after a significantly long and radically uncomfortable silence.
I think at some point she'll try to like pick up the gauntlet of giant strength just to see and realize she can like barely get a finger off the floor and just be like,
I was gonna say, what's your
put
might
it back.
score?
What's might score? I just don't know. It's 1.
Yeah, no, you're not getting that off the ground.
Yeah, I know.
Like, are you just trying to lift the bag, or are you actually like pulling the bag down so you can look at these gauntlets?
Oh, let's look at the gauntlets. Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a esoterica, and you can pair that with your choice of intellect or cunning, please.
I would love to.
You're looking for 8s or better, and your 10s count as 2 successes.
Is it esoterica or is it mysticism in this one?
Mysticism, I apologize.
Yep.
That's what I get for running too much story path ultra.
Yeah, no worries.
Which is,
I had a moment where I was like, wait, esoteric?
Which, by the way, is now
available.
available
Story Path Ultra.
over on...
I know. It's good. It's good, too.
Yeah, mysticism and intellect.
All right, so let's see. I've got what... I need to send you a screenshot of this dice roll. Hang on. No one's going to believe me if I don't take a picture of this because it's unhinged. So I have an 8, a 9, an 8, a 10, a 10, and an 8.
Nice. Awesome.
That is 8 successes because 10s count for 2.
It is, absolutely.
Where was this roll? Where was this roll when I needed it at, like, any other time in like combat or when something
like when you were
happening?
against a giant?
Right.
Yeah, right. Like that might have been helpful. Google dice roller if that is your real name.
So
and a 7 and a 4, but those 2 don't count.
Those 2 do not count. That's true. So you discover a few things looking at this. First, the gauntlets themselves appear to be made from iron. They are quite large. At this point, probably big enough to fit on a hill giant, certainly far too large for a human to wear. However, you do know that there is an inscription in the giantish tongue along the lip, basically, of the... I'm sure there's a proper term for it, but the part that goes over your wrist is wide enough that you can actually read the giantish inscription. And you do know that if that inscription is read, it will cause the gauntlets to adjust their size as appropriate to the wearer.
Okay.
You are aware that this wearing these gauntlets will bless you with the strength of the mightiest of giants. Effectively, it will give you scale 4 strength. However,
wow.
You also are able to, with that amazing roll, you're able to see the more sinister reality behind these gauntlets. And that is that each of them is effectively hollow. The interior, between the outer and inner layer, is filled with what you are fairly certain are the ashes of a cremated stone giant.
Huh. Well, definitely seems worth giving back then.
Yep. You're also not 100% sure that that stone giant's soul is not the reason why the strength is granted, and it might be trapped.
Well, that part's unfortunate. Feels like a problem for future us.
Right.
Gonna give the gloves a little pass and say, hopefully there's not a ghost in here.
You know what?
With no context for anyone else in the room. It's gonna stare at them for like 5 minutes, hold up the little rim of it and like read the inscription, but not like aloud. Inspect the whole thing, give it a little pat, and then just no context. Hopefully there's not a ghost in these.
Dolly says,
I feel like that's about when A-list comes in.
Absolutely. Dolly says, is that a problem? Like a common problem we run into?
Oh, you would be surprised.
You're right, I would.
Yeah, I
You
am
know
right.
what? I'm not going to ask. I have a chariot coming for the three of us and the
Oh, my lady.
gauntlets. So I guess I'll carry it to the chariot. That rhymed. Sorry. And it's just gonna pick up the gauntlets if I can.
Are you? I can't remember. Did you power down when you got home?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your might when you're not powered up?
Um, 4.
Oh yeah, you can heft it. It's a bit like you have to lift with your knees, but yeah, you get it up.
I think she goes to pick it up, realizes she's powered down, and is just absolutely at that point dead set that she's gonna do this.
Wonderful. It's a bit of a struggle, but you get it up.
She's just like, oh yeah, no problem. Shall we?
Yeah, let's go. I used a levitation spell to make that easier to carry. Do you want me to levitate it
No,
for you?
it's fine, it's not heavy, it's just awkward.
Okay, I was pretty sure it was both, actually, but sure.
You should have seen her moving the couch.
Um, you walk down to where to the nearest place where the carriage could have been brought, or the chariot, I guess I should say, could have been brought to. There are a couple of snake folk, kind of dancing around, slithering over top of things, double checking, making sure everything is connected tightly. And once you arrive and they see you, they both turn and say, "Everything should be good to go."
Right. Cool. Thud.
The wheels kind of bow a little bit.
Well, but I guess one person can go in the back with the gauntlets and 2 up front. Who's the best at driving things? It's not me. Well, actually, I've got one on ride.
Yeah, does Bella have any
I
ride?
don't.
All right, let me.
Okay.
Typically, people just
Drive you
drive me
places.
places.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see if Dolly has any ability whatsoever to.
Otherwise, we're doing it with my 1.
That's
Get abscond
probably
with a
how
cool
it's
snake
gonna
person,
wind
maybe.
up. Let's see. I mean, his total die pool to drive is gonna be 4.
Okay. So I guess it depends on what I am allowed to pair it with. Might, stamina, presence.
Stamina would be fine.
Okay, that would give me a die pool of 5. So we'll
Alright.
do that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and give it a basic roll and see if we can get down the mountainside with no challenge. This will just be difficulty 1. You won't have to roll for traveling over flat ground, but you are going down a mountain pass. So
This is fine. I can't actually read that die from this far, but I know I've got a 10.
all right.
I've got a 10. And I accidentally rolled a d20. There's a d20 in here somehow, so I've got there's several d20s in here. I don't know how that happened. Okay, one more then. Okay, that's 2 successes.
Excellent. That is enough to safely make your way down the mountain pass to the flatlands. The journey down the mountain pass is beautiful. It's relatively uneventful, but you can see the progress of the beautification efforts, I suppose, that you have been asking for. The serpent people no longer working as, effectively compelled labor, are now joyfully kind of working on getting everything cleaned up and getting rid of the creepiest elements, the clearing off the dead shrubbery and things along those lines. And
Awesome.
all now wearing uniforms and well compensated for their work at union rates. So
The joy, the joy of TTRPGs.
exactly. Um,
Could live in cool fantasy worlds.
Where we're reforming the prison system and all of the union labor is fair.
exactly that.
Mhm.
Um, so as you make your way down through, you wind up on the flatland and continue heading northward. The journey itself to the areas that are under giant control is going to be a few days. Is there anything that you're doing to try to artificially make that journey faster? Anything that you're doing to otherwise impact things to help with navigation? Or anything that you'd like to discuss or go over in terms of with your, just learning things from this new person that you have aboard your crew.
I think
Well, we
Bella
have the
will.
boots. So, just as far as the practicality side of things, we have the boots, but I don't think that'll work with the chariot. So we're probably in it for the haul here.
I mean, Bella will ask if if it's something that we should do ASAP, because we could take, those somewhat terrifying ley lines. That might save a little bit of time, but it's never like safe.
Well, so here's the thing. I value your input on this. Kind of will look over at Dolly and be like, and yours. Um,
Mm.
Obviously, if they're amassing armies, it's urgent, right? But
Probably is.
there's also the risk versus, there's the risk measure here, right? What do you think?
Are you asking me?
Well,
Both of you, definitely.
sure, Dally. What's up? What do you think?
I mean, magical travel sounds super cool. The closest I've come to magical travel is I got to ride a flying carpet one time. But then Mustachio was like, "Hey, stop riding my flying carpet." And I was like, "Okay, sorry," and I hopped off.
I've never ridden a
Oh,
flying carpet,
oh,
so
I love that carpet. So rude.
It is pretty neat. You've gotten to ride a flying carpet. You get to do all the cool stuff. I want to be just like you when I graduate, Bella.
No, I believe you could be.
maybe somewhere like in between Bella and Mustachio, which is a horrifying thought, actually.
Oh, she's gonna like put a finger on her lip, like she's got a little mustache, and wiggle it around and wiggle her eyebrows at you.
Alice is like,
You
so what do you think?
Uh-huh.
you notice
Uh,
when you do that,
I think we could do the ley line.
the Dolly's mustache sort of wiggles a little bit.
It wiggles back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know as much about the magic stuff, so if you think it's feasible, maybe we should give it a go.
I mean, I think that mustache might be sentient. And sure, it's feasible.
I think it's definitely a sense. Yeah.
Uh,
So this
gonna try to figure out the most optimal route to take ley lines to go where we're going, to see if we can cut a little bit of time off.
and that
These are, just for context on it, they're from my the access that I have as a pariah, which is like the secret dangerous ley line passageways.
right. And so in order to
Ooh.
access those, you make a path roll, correct?
I think so. Yes.
So it will be your path rating plus an attribute of your choice.
I have no idea where path rating. Oh my gosh, there it is. Found it. Found it. Okay, so I guess maybe just cunning. Let's do cunning and path rating.
Sure.
Removing a lot of dice from this pool. I got 2.
Excellent. So you ride along and you find an area where rocks that seem to have slid down the mountainside form a vaguely arch-like shape. And now that leads directly to a wall, but you are confident that that is one of the gateways in. And so you start driving the horses straight at that wall. And sure enough, at the moment when it looks like the horses are about to run face first into stone, the stone turns to mist and you enter the ley lines. After
I say
Wow.
it's always weird.
I'm not gonna, you know what? This might be the first time, but I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to that. That was a rock, right? We just went through a rock.
Mhm.
You know, weirder things have happened. Okay, cool. Here we are.
you start taking your way up toward the giant holdings along the ley lines. The travel is much faster, though the route is shrouded in mist. You're effectively riding along a narrow path, not much wider than the chariot itself, that seems to be made out of glowing stardust. And that's really the only illumination that you're seeing among this fog. But as you draw closer to what you believe would be the appropriate exit to the giant kingdom, you see something large looming in the fog ahead.
Been playing
Mm,
accordion music this whole time, so accordion music slows down.
Goes from
Also,
a
my
polka to a
headphones are
dirge.
beeping at me. They shouldn't be low on batteries, but they're beeping for some reason. So I'm just gonna plug them in. So 1 second.
Sure.
no worries.
I love that
Oh,
Blorp is still blinking while Bunny's in a coma.
no, just
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, if either of you would like, you can try to make a roll to make out what this is, or you can just keep rolling up on it until you can see more detail. It's up to you.
I mean, I think at the very least, Illis is like, so happily, it's you know, alert. Could I do mm.
Here, I would allow mysticism cunning for anything in here. There's always
that might be a bell of a roll.
of course, integrity cunning.
I can do integrity
Hang on
cunning.
1 sec. These are apparently the worst type of USB ports. I'm gonna take my headphones off to plug them in. 1 second.
No
Oh,
worries.
sure, no problem. Tech happens, as we say on the chat. I need to get shirts made.
I'll vamp out of character for a second, mention the fact that I'm on holiday in Scotland right now, and before we started I was having a look
Nope, never
at
mind. They've just magically disconnected. I'm gonna
oh
switch
dear.
headphones. I'm so sorry. I'll be back in a moment.
No worries.
No
Tech
worries.
I
happens.
think there's something wrong with Bluetooth on them.
I was looking at ordering food in so that I got something in while we were playing. And haggis katsu curry at the Japanese place is new to me, but it sounds I'd try it.
That sounds like it might be either like the most wonderfully interesting or most terribly interesting dish,
They
but it
also
certainly
do-
will not be boring.
Yeah, exactly. They also do like your standard takoyaki, right? And then they had haggis balls or vegan haggis balls, which I presume they prepare the same way that they would prepare takoyaki. So I am fascinated by my choices here.
It does seem like a fascinating bit of choices available to
Yep.
you.
It's very exciting. But yeah, nope, I don't have it. That's it. That's all I've got to vamp with. Alice is Alice is having a new experience, which I think happens at least once an episode, but this time it has to do with ley lines. So good for
I
her.
think I can kind of hear now.
Congratulations. Awesome. Welcome back.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, this is not the first time you've traveled via ley line.
No, it's
I
not. It's the
believe it.
second. We did it on the way to the Skull Castle.
That's where you ran into the giants
Something-
last time.
That's where the
Mhm.
giants were last time. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. It seems so much more mundane then. I guess because everything else was a bit wild during that time. So
Right, everything
in
was-
comparison,
Everything was gray and desaturated then too. So
yeah,
now that you have like the glow of the stardust, it's a different experience.
it's like, hold on. Yeah,
No,
I don't
it's
know.
all
I think if
fancy.
I didn't pick up that this is the same thing we did before, Alice probably didn't either.
That's
Let's be
fair.
real.
Yeah.
Alice is like, wow.
Absolutely fair. So yeah, you can choose to try to see it while it's try to make out what it is at a distance, or you can save yourself the roll and roll up on it. It's up to you.
So did I hear that was a mysticism related role?
It would be
Am I
mysticism
hearing
cunning
right on that?
or integrity cunning, whichever.
I feel like this is
Well,
a
let's-
fellow roll because I've got a max of about 4 dice pool.
Yeah, I do like mysticism and cunning quite specifically. So let's do that one. I have 3.
Excellent. You can tell. So the outline is vaguely humanoid, but massive. So you're assuming it is a giant.
Okay.
However, you also spot several areas where it seems to be misshapen, like pieces of mass are missing. Like a chunk of the arm is gone, a piece of what you're assuming is the torso is gone. And this creature does seem to be basically squatting.
Bella will communicate this to the crew.
Do you think we should be worried?
Yeah, we should be worried.
I mean, that sounds like it's a giant.
True.
Not quite though.
Okay, well, we'll approach with caution. We won't fight unless we have to. Maybe it needs help.
She's right. Won't fight unless we have
Here's
to.
hoping.
Won't fight unless we have to. And you can see he's kind of like shaking a little bit. And the little ends of his mustache are shaking in unison with him.
You watch after those gauntlets. And you can jump in if you think one of us needs the assist.
Oh, okay. We can handle that, I think.
Great. Ayla's kind of mouths we. To herself.
Shrug back at you. I mean, she'll whisper, "It's barely we between the two of us when there's a fight." Come on.
Okay, let's get up a little closer and then I'll hop off and see if whatever it is willing to talk. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you
Out of character, I would go look at the cinematic powers list.
Are you going to roll up in the chariot close enough that you can actually start making out detail from it?
I think so. And then, but we'll kind of pull up and park it before we're within like threat range
Sure.
for both them or us.
As you get probably, you would guess probably 150, 200 feet from it. The fog is still a little hard to see through, but you can see enough. This thing has gray skin, sunken eyes, that are effectively cataract so thickly that so as not to have a color. The missing area from the arm, the missing area from the torso, becomes clear to you that these are pieces of flesh that have been just ripped from this creature. You see, as it's squatting, its one knee is the bone and sinew completely exposed, and you can see that half the cheek is rotten off here. You're
You seeing this?
fairly certain this giant is undead.
Ooh. What do we know about the undead in this setting?
The undead can be created a number of ways. There's necromantic magic that can raise the dead. Sometimes tragedy will cause an undead to rise. There are certain curses that can be laid upon a living creature that, if they do not fulfill in life, will transcend death.
Mm-hmm.
The undead can range from being mindless puppets to fully sentient and cogent beings.
Okay. It's kind of like, I think Alis will kind of look to Bella because it's like, I guess we still try, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes they can communicate.
Yeah. Kind of. Oh, actually, maybe I should, just in case, right?
I mean, that might be seen as a threat, right?
Maybe I can do it behind the cart.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. Alis is gonna go behind the cart and power up.
I would think is
I
Bella
just picture this,
deliberately
like, sun erupting
I was
from
gonna say,
behind the
is
car.
Bella
It's like-
deliberately not saying anything about the fact that this is in no way going to hide what she's about to do? Or is it just not registering for Bella? Either way is fine. I just
Uh, to be honest, I think she thinks it's kind of cute.
I guess also there's the whole, okay, there's gonna be a lot of like light and stuff which might alarm it, but at least there's not a person holding a sword getting real big in front of them.
I suppose that's fair. Sure.
It's like, why is this cart full of light? Anyone who knows?
You walk
You
around.
just arrived.
You walk around
Logic.
behind the cart. Raise aloft your mighty sword.
Yep,
Saved
sure do.
by the power of friendship, and the entire sky lights up as lightning begins dancing back and forth among the clouds. And a massive bolt flies from the sky, slamming into you, illuminating you, casting a deep shadow as you increase almost double in size, like in terms of sheer mass. Yeah, it's no the giant notices.
It's not subtle.
Oh no! How could that have happened?
Kind of will put her sword back on her back before she walks out from around.
He leans forward onto one arm and says, "Why does the champion of the small step into my domain?"
Oh, then you've heard of me. Great. Hi, I'm Alis. We're just passing through, but you look like you, I mean, I could have read the situation wrong completely. It wouldn't be the first time. But you look like you could maybe use some help. Is there anything we can do?
Help from you.
No. That's why I asked if there's anything we can do. The answer might be no.
You can
But it's worth
leave
asking.
this place.
Can we leave that way? It points like past him.
He looks over his shoulder. I am the guardian. I am charged to hold the line against the advances of your wizards who would despoil this portion of our remaining stretch of territory. You should know this body fell fighting your wizards as you expanded into our lands. I have no qualms about falling again.
Shoot.
I don't think that's necessary. If it helps, we're here to do quite the opposite, and we've brought a present.
We're
We're here to talk and hopefully start making amends.
yeah. We know that what happened to you all before, maybe wasn't so great. And well, we wanted to kind of bridge the gap and see if our people can work together.
I would like one of you, it is up to you which one, to go ahead and make a persuasion roll. You may add an enhancement equal to your bond value with the other person, since you're both working on this together.
And presence. Can I do persuasion
and presence?
presence?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excuse me.
However,
I think you should do it.
what you must contend with is this giant has an attitude of -4 toward you, hostile. So effectively, you're going to be at difficulty 4.
Okay.
And then each success you get beyond that will reduce that attitude down. You need to get it to neutral, or he's probably going to attack you. So you're looking at a grand total of 8 successes in order to talk this guy completely down from violence. If you get less than that, we'll see how much less and see what that affects.
I have some hope.
That is a handful of hope.
I had some hope too.
And what's your bond rating with Bella at this point?
+2.
Okay. So yeah, so you get 2.
I have a 3 on my end. Apparently.
I had I'm feeling like there's got to be maybe a shift here.
You're
because
welcome to swap
my original one was okay. I think I might do that just because the original one was like, oh, a true legend for Hilda with +3, and then are we friends with? But like now are we friends? We're not. So yeah, maybe it's a +3 now.
I'm okay with you swapping those 2 around. That makes perfect narrative sense. So
Thank you.
And if you want to change the descriptor on that to whatever you choose, that's fine by me. I have no objection to that.
We'll workshop it. Okay. All right, let's give this a go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 8, including the bond.
Oh, nice.
Oh wait, sorry. 9,
9,
including the bond.
Excellent. You note that he brings his hand up from the ground, and as he leaned in forward, what you didn't quite clock until now is that he had ripped a huge chunk of the ground out that he was just going to lob at you. But he sort of crushes it into dust as he stands and says, "If you speak true, I will guide you. If I find your deception, I will swallow you all and use your bones to pick my teeth."
Yeah, I guess that seems fair.
Yeah, that checks out.
I have no problem with it. I mean it.
Mm-hmm. And same. And my bones are terrible. Runs in the family.
He stands aside and gestures. "You may ride through."
Thank you.
Once the fog has swallowed the ability to see me. If you step off the path, you will be among our people.
We'll
Thank you,
do,
Guardian.
we'll do our best.
Give them this. And he reaches up and pulls like a whisker out of his face, and much more than the root of the hair, like a glob of flesh, probably about the size of a basketball or so, comes off with it. And he
Great.
hands it down to you.
Thanks. Yeah, we'll take that. Put it in the cart, maybe. Like, hey, keep an eye on this.
Okay, that's not weird or nothing. Um, and he stands aside, lets you move through.
So, yeah, I guess we go, right?
That went surprisingly well.
You ride along. Once you get to the
Step
area
inside.
where he fades in the background, you can no longer see him. Are you just going to step off the trail at that point, or are you going to try to continue at all? Are you going to try to do any recon before you step off, or are you just driving the horses off?
I guess we've got no reason not to follow the instructions, I think.
Yeah. He was going to lead us into a trap. Doesn't seem like his modus operandi. More
Yeah,
likely to just grudge us. So,
it's true. He could have just flattened us. So,
mhm.
all right. Let's do this. Cool.
Gonna give you a little tiny high five.
You high five. Dolly says, I feel really good about this. I think we're in good shape. And you ride off of the path. You pass through the mists, and there's like almost like a pop as there's a burst of wind that sort of blows the mists away for you. And you find yourselves in what appears to be a small valley. It's probably a couple of 100 yards from slope to slope as the ground starts to move upward. You see there is various junk laying around the area. You can see discarded pieces of armor in sizes both human and giant. You see bones of various creatures sort of littering the area. You can see a couple of standing stones that seem to have been placed randomly about the valley, and you definitely see some that have been knocked down. And as you emerge and kind of look around, you can start to hear the rumbling noise of approaching footsteps, several of them.
I guess that'll be the welcoming party.
Mhm. Oh, do you think they'll actually throw us a party?
Probably not. It's gonna
Probably
jump
not,
off
no.
the chariot.
Take her
and
accordion and stuff it in her bag. Where you remember way back when that she won like a stuffed minotaur, or I think that you
Mhm.
gave her a stuffed minotaur that you won at the fair. She still has that. She's gonna like stuff her accordion in the bag with that.
Aw.
Excellent. You put your accordion away and hop down, and as soon as you hop clear, the first of what appears to be a couple of dozen giants emerges into view as they come in and basically from all angles are surrounding this area. You at that point start to realize, though it's not so much crafted, at least not obviously to be so, the various mountains and rocky formations around this valley appear to provide what would amount to stadium seating. As it slowly dawns on you all that you're effectively inside of a gladiator pit.
Yeah, that's fine. Hmm.
One of the giants, a woman in very bright colored robes. It's probably the most color you've ever seen on a giant. Steps forward. She has long white hair in a pair of braids that go down over her shoulders. And wearing this, like I said, this robe is almost, basically almost tie-dyed, but in incredibly vibrant color. She holds a scepter in one hand, and the scepter has what looks, as near as you can tell, to a boulder at the end of it. She steps forward and says, "You have come here through the ancient ways."
Yeah, hi. We have, hold on, and just reaches and pulls the whisker out. It's like, we have this
She
from
reaches down and collects it from you and says, "So either you have
Had a
spoken
conversation with.
your way past the Guardian, or you felled him in battle."
I'm gonna be fully honest with you here. I wouldn't know to bring his whisker to you, so that was his call.
You might not. What about your wise companions? "Oh, I don't know much anything,
I
ma'am."
think he's an intern.
I mean, I do know a lot of things. That's true, but I wouldn't know that specific sign of coming in peace. And on that note, we do come in peace. We took the ancient passageway, as you put it, because we felt we should get here as soon as we could, because we're worried. And we brought a present to try to ensure that you know our intentions are good.
A present.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm the only one that
Present's
can
maybe the wrong
lift it.
words. Maybe we're returning something.
Yes, a token of our goodwill. Yeah, one sec. I just gonna go back and the gauntlets and bring them out. And try to hold them like as aloft as possible to this woman because she's huge.
Are you
But also
are you holding them like out? Are you taking them out of the bag and presenting them visibly, or are you just holding the bag up?
I think just holding the bag up, to be honest.
She reaches down and plucks it from your hand and pours them. She's big enough that she can pour the two gloves into one hand. And she looks down at them and says, "These hold the imprisoned soul of one of our kind."
We asked the mages to return an artifact of yours to show that they were also dedicated to brokering peace.
That's also why I'm here to represent the Mages Council. Although Bella is absolutely a better mage than I am, she's not on the council right now for reasons that are beyond me and above my pay grade.
What he said, yeah.
I'm happy to explain that at some point if you want.
She takes the gauntlets and hands them down to a Cyclops that approaches to her. They're a bit big for the Cyclops to like actually wield, but he can hold them easily in two hands. And he kind of walks off with them. She says, "This is a beginning, enough to earn you a conversation. If I like what I hear, you may even be able to leave."
All we're asking for right now is a conversation, but we're hoping it can be good for all of our people.
It's, people's
I'm listening.
Oh, now. Oh, yeah, sure. Great. So we understand that among many other completely understandable grievances, uh, your peoples are unhappy with the Blightwoods, which we understand. We came to shed some light on that, but also to take the first steps towards cooperation between all of us and maybe finding a better solution than what we've had so far.
We are peaceful and
And-
reasonable people. We are happy to discuss peace, but you bring up a specific concern.
We
I think
know
the
there's
starting
more than
point for
that
us
one.
is to understand your concerns.
It was the Blightwood family and the monster Skullface who unleashed the empty. And while I'm certain it did damage to the lands of the small folk, it certainly ravaged the homes of the giants. This settlement here is the last of us on this continent.
Bella and I and Hilda, warrior princess, set out to stop the empty, and I think we succeeded. It's that means that it won't be causing any further damage. But there's a lot, we recognize there's a lot to do to try and set right everything that happened.
Sounds like there was a lot of damage done before then, too.
Yes, we were pressed to the north. We were pressed to the very precipice of the empty's holding space. You see, for the empty to be called forth, it needed to come through the lands we settled. Hundreds of our people perished.
I have a bit of an ignorant question, but it's one I don't have an answer to.
The only ignorant question is the one that remains unasked. Please.
Kind of does like a thanks. I know that you were pushed out of your lands long before even the empty came. And you've said that you're a peaceful and reasonable people. So I can only presume it was the others that were not peaceful or reasonable. Is there any reason why we can't all live together and thrive?
You want us to coexist in peace with mages who use their spells to strike down our beautiful civilization and drive us to the north. You ask us to, what, break bread with the Blightwoods because they have been brought low? That is enough?
Yeah, when you put it that way, that's it's a lot to ask, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can make this work without any more bloodshed on either side. And you are probably wiser than I am, so I'm open to suggestions.
At this point, you hear a guttural rage dripping scream in the distance. Do I smell Blightwood blood? The mountains start to shake a little bit as you hear a giant creeping closer.
They do. And Bella will say,
You see the woman that you're speaking to, her eyes widen. You are of the Blightwoods.
I'm sort of going against the family tradition, but I am born of them.
Well, I will.
I
Bella-
did help to stop them.
Bella
I
was
am one of them.
integral in helping to stop the empty. I couldn't have done it without her.
Well, I commend your bravery. And she steps back a step as the giant that you saw on your way to the castle steps into view. He seems somehow bigger than he was the last time you saw him.
Gonna try real hard and will say, it's nice to see you again. It seems like we got off on the wrong foot.
He says, the wrong foot. I am the suffering one. I am the one who bears the weight of the pain and destruction rained down upon my people. I am their leader, and I am their vengeance. Yes, we got off on the wrong foot.
If it helps, it's pain and suffering I think you never should have had to experience.
On that, we can
And
agree.
I would like to try to make it better if there's a way to do so.
Yeah.
I'm taking a significant risk coming here.
You don't say.
It's
Basically unarmed.
it's
Hopefully
the three of us.
that's a sign of my intentions,
You
even if I can only have a minor impact.
you claim to be unarmed, yet you walk with the weapon and with one of those monstrosities. He nods to Dolly.
I mean, I don't really think I could beat you all. Even I'm smaller, you know, than I look.
That sword is awash in giant blood. You know that, right?
I do now.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah. Oh, look at us both. Trying to find a pathway to hold the people who came before us accountable that we benefited from.
And those creatures have slain hundreds of my people, he says, pointing at Dolly.
Yeah, we recognize that it's particularly challenging and dangerous for him to come here, but we thought it was necessary. How could we claim that we want to broker any sort of peace if we didn't have a representative from the people who did some of the worst against you? How could we convince you that they're dedicated to it as well?
That item did come from them. It's not as if we have an archive of magical items. We're sort of reestablishing something in my mother's and Skullface's previous headquarters, but
He says, if you wish
don't have a lot.
He says, your gesture buys you enough patience that I will stay my hand today. If you wish to make up for what has been done,
We do. Just, point us at a problem. We'll see what we can do.
To be transparent, I'm not sure we can make up for it, but maybe we can try to build a better future for all of us together.
yes, perhaps you could retrieve souls of my fallen brethren.
How?
Dive into the empty after them. And perhaps you'll be able to drag them out. Or perhaps you'll simply be devoured and no longer my problem. You think I will stand for peace? He steps forward and like 5 of the giants grab him. They've come here under a flag of truce. Please do not. He fucking chucks a Cyclops into a distant, like you see, and then like off in the distance, like a little poof of smoke.
We'll raise our hands. I'm willing to try it.
Me too. I mean, if
it's what it takes.
And if our people, well, some specific parts of our people brought the empty, then we'll do what we can to make it right.
He shouts, "Foolish, foolish small folk." And the woman who is like struggling on one of his arms says, "There is no saving souls from the empty. Once they're gone, they're gone. It is total destruction."
Are you sure?
You should go. We will try to calm him and send an envoy.
Well, we will, but
he kicks a hill giant at you. I would like all of you to go ahead and roll. I would say probably athletics, dex to try to get out of the way of this.
This I can do. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I have 2 successes.
I have 1. It's not feeling like a lot at the moment.
Let's see.
I do love the sentence, he throws a hill giant at you.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is exactly 1. Our ties do go to our defender. So you dive and like you clearly are able to get easily out of the way, Alis. Bella, you barely make it out of the way. And
she's like, she jumps out of the way, then remembers her bag is there with the accordion and minotaur in it, and goes back to grab it, then barely make it out of the way.
And
Alis will say, "We may be foolish, but we're well intentioned. Please remember that."
And you hear Dolly as he drops out of the way, and you see him like through well, actually you don't see any of it because you're busy dodging, but as you turn back over to that sound, you see the mustache spreading out over his face, over his body, building like large mass on his arms and legs, a red tongue drop out of his mouth, and he starts growling. And the suffering one says, that is your true nature, monster."
Yeah, you seem to be having some
that's
trouble
weird.
with that.
Agreeing that's weird.
We'll take care of that.
Yeah.
Says, "They attack us and you let us suffer." Dolly says to both of you.
Yeah,
they didn't. Only 1 did.
Yep. He's pretty angry and he has some rights to be, and we're gonna leave him alone.
He starts breathing heavily, and then you see all of this suck back into the mustache, and Dolly goes, I'm sorry, he got scared and we lost control.
Yep, that's okay. Happens to everybody. Everybody gets strong emotions sometimes, and things get out of hand. Why don't you get in the cart, and we're gonna go.
Wait, is the cart still intact?
No, the cart is toothpicks at this point.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna go. And Alis will turn around and say, "I mean it. If there was a way, we'd try. Just keep that in mind."
The woman nods and says, "We shall send an envoy to speak peace with you. For now, go while we can keep him restrained." And like at this point now, 7 or 8 giants have hopped in and are all holding him back.
Thank you for your consideration and your kindness. Ready, Bella?
Mm-hmm. I guess we're going back through.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah,
Come
we're
on.
talking later.
Yeah.
You hop back onto the ley lines with no problem. You were able to get on the same way that you got out of them. You walk past the guardian who doesn't even speak to you as you pass. He just watches. I assume you're gonna wait.
Bella feels like giving him an update.
Do you?
And we'll fully let him know that we had, a semi-successful conversation. And hopefully we'll have more conversations in the future. Thank you for letting us through. It was, about as productive as could have been hoped.
He says, "It does not displease me to see you continue to breathe."
Aw,
Thanks.
you're very sweet.
He nods. And you make your way past.
What a charmer, that guy.
Dolly says, "I'm real sorry I lost control back there. I'm new to having, we're new. We are new to, we're new to this."
Your symbiotic relationship with the mustache.
Yeah.
Yes, Mustachio has been training us in how to wield them. But if I get scared, sometimes I hand over control by accident.
Great.
Would have loved a heads up on that one, but
Yeah, I love being handed a no offense here, a somewhat unstable science experiment as part of a tense negotiation.
I mean, I'd really appreciate if you didn't say anything to Mustachio about it, because he picked me for this job because he thought I had really good control, and apparently he doesn't have any control at all. Let me out.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, yeah,
sorry.
you stay right in
Great.
there, buddy. Thank you for both of your
We have a
hard
lot
work.
of distance to cover.
Yep. Oh boy.
Let's just get back to walking.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, you continue your journey through the ley lines, and I think that's a perfect time for us to go ahead and take our technological and biological break.
Pulls out the accordion, starts walking.
Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns before we take our break? Sorry, my
All
cat.
good here?
It's been great so far.
My cat is being extra needy. Yeah.
Cats are real.
Uh,
Cat confirmed. Wait.
right.
Okay, now I have questions and concerns
Confirmed.
about cats. Can I see them? Can I appreciate them?
You can always see and appreciate cats. I don't know if this cat will let you see her, because Zug is incredibly camera shy, and while she's very demanding about being pet, she is absolutely repulsed by the idea of being held.
Understandable.
She freaks
Fair.
out by it. So, yeah. So, Zug Tomoy, you want to show the people at home what you look like? Say hi. I'm Zug, and I hate being.
Oh.
No. All right. So that being said, we will take our break with you all on the journey. So far, by the way, everything has looked good on the tech side, so I have no reason to be horribly worried. But if gremlins strike as they did last week,
Right.
just rest assured we know where we've parked. Otherwise, if you would, please hang out. If you are planning on going anywhere, please head over to Backer Kit to support the Storypath Ultra Backer Kit, which apparently the link has died for. So let me get that link for you real quick. Nightbot seems to have taken the day off. So there we go. Throw that link in the chat. And otherwise, sit tight, and we will be back momentarily.
See you
That's
shortly.
good. See y'all in a minute.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Onyx Path Twitch, where we have returned for more Warriors of Legend. Sorry about the extra lengthy tech break. We had some gremlins that had to be hunted down and slain, but they have been hunted and slain. So, while we were slaying gremlins, our heroes were walking back to Castle Blightwood. It is, well, no, not back to Castle Blightwood, back to the castle on the Serpentine Mountain. It is a bit slower because you're on foot, but the method of transit is still relatively quick, and you can actually take it straight to the castle. For those of you who are just joining us, the group had made their way to the giant settlement in order to try to make a peace offering. During that time, they learned that many of the giants were effectively killed by the empty. That the giant who Belladonna had run across, well, the group had run across, but Belladonna specifically defended, has now risen to some sort
The
of
world's greatest diplomat.
yes, has now risen to some sort of leadership role in that culture and is calling himself the Suffering One. And he is not interested in discussing peace right now. In fact, it was only that he was held back by his fellow giants that prevented him from ripping everyone limb from limb. You also,
He's not our biggest fan.
not your biggest fan, but the other giants seem willing to at least send an emissary to discuss peace. You also learned that Dolly, the apprentice who you're traveling with, apparently the mustache clipping that was attached to him is some sort of symbiotic life form that has a temper and a really long tongue and sharp, pointy teeth. It's very angry and one might say venomous even, and he doesn't have much control over it.
Thank you, Travis.
You're such a dork.
A season over a season I've been waiting to make that pun. This has been my plan the whole time. Yes, Mustachio's mustache is a symbiote.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Nope. That
makes
that
it
explains
worse.
everything.
It's worse.
Yeah.
But yes, you've discovered now that the mustaches appear to be some sort of symbiotic creature.
Yeah. Great.
Wonderful.
So, and Dolly had asked you to please not tell Mustachio about him losing control. Do with that what you will, but you do, unless you have any detours or side business that you'd like to cover during that journey, we will rejoin our heroes as they return to the castle.
I think Alice is like thinking really hard, which takes up all of her energy. So she's probably pretty quiet on the way back.
Sure.
I think Bella's just, I don't know, playing some music and walking.
All right. Yeah, it's a quiet, thoughtful journey back. A couple times Dolly might maybe start to like prepare to say something, but then just thinks better of it and doesn't. Once you arrive back at the castle, he says, if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to head back to the Mage Tower and give my report.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep you guys updated on what happens next.
That would be awesome. Thank you. And he starts speaking the teleportation spell. And as the light glows beneath his feet to teleport him out, you hear him like, no, I think you're being a little harsh. I think that kind of went well. And then he disappears.
I don't like to judge people, but that was freaky, right?
Oh, yeah, a little bit strange. Yes.
I mean, Mustachio seems to do fine with his friend. So maybe they just need a little practice.
Maybe. Well, can't fault
Ooh.
someone for having weird friends on their face.
I
Maybe we
guess
can.
not.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure. But hey, that went pretty well, right?
Yeah, all things considered. I thought I was
You
going to
were
be a pancake for a little bit there.
you were really brave.
No,
Like, I don't know, it's one thing to try and fight what your mom's doing, but or did, but it's another thing to put yourself right in the line of fire.
well, hey, I learned it from you. It's talking that solved this thing. It can solve the other thing.
I hope so. I think strength should always be, or
I mean, otherwise, worst
offensive,
case, I can just try to mind control everyone. Don't worry about it.
right? Offensive magic or strength, like, should maybe be
I'm
the last
joking.
option.
I would probably prefer
And
not to mind control.
mind controlling is probably not an option generally.
Yeah, that feels like not a good call.
Why don't we go let Hilda know and maybe your mom know how things went and get dinner?
Sure, yeah, that last part sounds particularly nice.
Yeah, I've been treating it as a reward for the first part, to be honest.
Um,
Come on. And I think they will do that, if
yeah,
nothing interrupts them.
Sure. You go and get yourself some food. You fill Hilda in. She says she'll keep it in mind and just kind of works with her goats. She's chasing goats around and getting everything set up. Um, are you both gonna go talk to Mother Blightwood, or just one of you?
Um, do you want to go talk to your mom or should we go together?
let's go together.
Okay.
Still kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think it'll take some time probably. I don't have a lot of experience with that. I mean, like, yeah, my only living
Yeah,
relative's in a hole, so
yeah.
um we're working on that though. It's just gonna
Mhm.
take Bella's hand and be like, let's go.
All right.
And
All
kind of
right.
like
The two of
tug her
you
onward.
walk along. Now, at this point, has Alis depowered, or is Alis walking around all powered up?
Well, I think she fully forgot that she's still powered up.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, she's still big. She's completely non-cognizant of this. It's just like do like normal, but just big.
That's funny. Cool. Yeah. So you make your way down to uh, the rear of the castle. Um, there's on the other side of the moat. There's a bit of a plateau, and it seems that Mother Blightwood is trying to turn it into a grove. So as you walk out, you see her casting various magics like rising trees and flowers, basically like crafting this place into a beautiful little nature refuge.
Hmm,
Aw.
check that out.
I was gonna say it's nice to see some more color around the place.
She says, "Oh, I'm doing my best, and she holds out a hand and like rips out a chunk of ground, basically like a disc made out of the topsoil, and floats it over to you.
Just
You can poke
watching
it.
this happen.
And so basically, she's inviting you to hop on it so she can float you over the moat to where she's at.
Oh, all right.
Right.
Bella will
Yep.
hop on.
Literally, like Alice looks at it until Bella hops on it. It's like, oh, right, yeah, just like hops on it.
Flies you over, plants it back in the ground, and continues raising flowers up. And says, "How are you kids doing?"
Well,
Yeah, good.
I didn't get crushed to death.
I see that. Congratulations. Did
Pretty
you?
big fan.
So you went to speak with the giants,
We
Yeah, we
did.
did.
and
Bella did a really good job. Yeah, it was.
didn't
It
get
went
crushed.
fine.
That sounds good. Sounds promising.
It was a start.
So does that mean they're not going to invade us?
Well, we'll see. But they're sending an emissary first
Yeah.
to discuss peace.
That's good, I guess. Do you need me to make myself scarce during those negotiations?
Well,
That
as
might be
long
a
as
good
it's not
idea.
the one guy that really wants us all dead, we're probably, you know, people can change, right? I don't know. What do you think?
But I think people also typically have a hard time around those who've hurt them.
Yeah, maybe
I think that's pretty fair.
maybe like a holiday for a little bit.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I can find a thing to do or a place to be. I can also make myself some living arrangements over here and just stay here in my little corner, unless you think that it's best that I leave the grounds completely.
Well, well, we want you to be safe as much as we want them to be comfortable.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I think they could twist either decision against us if they wanted to.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Diplomacy has no hope if nobody has good faith.
Yeah.
I think if you're more comfortable here, then I think you should stay here. Maybe avoid the negotiating table, assuming we make it to
Yeah.
one, which hopefully we will.
I'm growing quite adept at avoidance of late.
Hmm.
Well, sometimes that's sometimes, like sometimes the meeting things head on it isn't always, I guess, the way to achieve everything.
People have a right to their space, even if they are angry, bitter warrior princesses that are, I'm not going to get into it. It's not your kids' business.
Sometimes people just need a little bit of time before they're ready to face something head on.
Sure. Yeah. And I am well aware that I have earned every bit of spite that people hold for me.
I mean, whether or not you have, you know, I'm fully not thinking about you and Hilda. By the way, I'm just, applying my own situation, but people have to be ready for things, right? Before any of the effort you put in matters.
Sure.
So
To them, but it still matters to you.
well, and there's the
And to
whole
the
like
future.
trying. Yeah, like people know you're trying, so then, then because they know you're trying, then they can be ready later, I guess, is the other part of it. So it's all really people are really, really complicated.
Sure. I mean, and let's be perfectly candid here. I'm not doing this for them. I'm not even really doing it for you. I'm doing this for me. You
Good.
showed me the right way, but I like this better, even with the pain that comes along with it.
That's good, right?
I think so.
I hope so. Otherwise, it's a colossal waste, and I should have just destroyed creation when I had the chance.
Well,
Yeah, but then how boring would that be? Come on.
That's a valid point.
No excitement.
Bringing everyone down because like you're done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I was nothing if not selfish.
We can all be selfish sometimes, right? I think it's kind of selfish of us to try and do these negotiations, maybe because we don't want to be ground in the dust by a bunch of giants. But we've got good intentions. We want to make things right for them. Did you know? There's not a lot of them left here on this continent, so most of them seemed like they did want to talk. And that's good.
There were hundreds of them.
Yeah. Um, their lands were sort of right in the line of fire for a few things that happened.
The MT did a number on them.
Oh,
That was after the mages did a number on them too. So, well,
yeah,
I kind of understand.
that makes sense. That also explains why they're so ticked off at me.
It's
But
not entirely selfish, Aelith. It's not like we could easily convince the mages to get squished anyways,
yeah, I mean, it's definitely better if we
especially with
can
that
all.
thing.
Oh, do you know anything about symbiotic facial
Well,
hair?
Yes, but what an odd question. Why did Mustachio lose control of his symbiote?
No.
we're just, there's more of them and it's odd.
I warned him not to do that.
I can imagine.
I'd warn him too.
The
He's got a few proteges now, I think.
the relationship between symbiote and host is extremely delicate, and if not if the host does not exert a disciplined hand early in that relationship, the symbiote's appetites will drive the creature.
Ah, okay. That's gonna be I mean, it's really not like a huge amount my business, but that feels like it's gonna be a little bit of a problem because he's great, but he doesn't seem like he has a lot of firm handness.
Yeah, we met the protege who was the most in control, and he wasn't terribly in control.
Um,
That'll be a conversation to have with Mustat. He's gonna pinch my cheeks. Ugh.
We just need to keep any any dangerous variables out of these negotiations, and that includes uh a flock of young mages that turn into hairy monsters when they get angry.
Can't believe he would be that careless. We long ago, when I was still on the Mage Council before I was deposed, long before you were born, Bella, we discovered the symbiotes, and we had grave difficulty removing most of them from the dimension. Mustachio kept his, but we knew that it was only due to his disciplined mind he was able to control it. I don't know what would possess him to allow it to reproduce.
I hope it's faith in people, even if it's misplaced.
I hope so too,
But I
or we
think,
may have two very big problems on our hands.
yeah, I think we need to talk to him, right?
I think so too.
Oh, okay.
Probably keep him and the protege away from the negotiation table.
Yeah, I mean, an unstable mage is not going to convince them that the mages want peace.
Okay, but it's going to sound like a very biased question, but we need to have a representative there. Can you think of one other than Pistachio?
Well, there's plenty, right? There's got to be more people than just Mustachio and his proteges, and my
that are
sister
going to
who's
be
in a hole.
reasonable?
Um,
I think I'm just
uh,
biased.
we,
Talk to them and see.
yeah, we'll explore some options, right? I mean, there were all those folks that worked under my sister that seemed to genuinely want to do the right thing.
That's true.
I'm sure there's a different option, and we'll just have to figure it out. But yeah, I think we need to play this as safe as possible. Thanks for the information. We had no idea. We didn't even really know that it could reproduce, so imagine our surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why would you? Mustachio's had that thing under control for decades.
Well, and maybe that's
Yeah.
the issue. Maybe there's been a slippage of control somewhere.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
In many gross and hairy ways.
I think if you want to stay out here and set up a nice little sort of quiet place, that would be great. Just when they come, guess they can smell you guys, so that's a thing. And in the meantime, we'll get everything set up and talk to Mustachio about his little hair friends.
Uh,
Hairy
ask
situation.
ask
We
them.
mustache him a question. I'm gonna have so many problems with this.
I think you'll manage. While you're there, perhaps ask them if there's an elixir that they can provide that will mask the scent of our blood.
Okay. I mean, they know that Bella's part of the negotiations. But again, we just want you to be safe. So we'll see what we can do. Right?
Right. I mean, having it on hand just in case isn't a bad idea.
Sure. Yeah, I'm certain they have something. Well, in that case, she lifts up the ground patches that you're standing on and levitates them back over to the castle and says, "Good luck," and turns back to planting her flowers.
Alis will turn to Bella and go, we do still get to have dinner before we go, right? Like that was the reward.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. I'm hungry. Those gauntlets were really heavy.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that their response to the soul of an ancestor being trapped inside them wasn't anger.
Well, at least they're with their people now, right? I mean, if you're gonna
suppose.
have the soul of your ancestor, if I had the soul of my ancestor, I'd rather have the soul of my ancestor than have some random other person that beat the crap out of me have the soul of my ancestor. So,
Yeah.
cool.
Feels
Well,
kind of weird
this
for the mages to choose something so potentially tumultuous, but I'm sure they knew what they were
I'm
doing.
I'm hoping that they did it in good faith, that this was a show that the ancestor, if they knew about this, that they were returning the ancestor to its home, their home. I don't know much about.
That's okay. We can shave this discussion for later.
Bella.
Let's get some
None
dinner.
of those. None of those while we're eating, please.
Okay, it's the same pun again, but I promise I'll be shaved this time.
Come
You
on.
you have a lovely dinner, and after that, you're heading to the Mage Tower. Then I assume.
Yeah, I guess we are. We'll
Yeah,
let
I
a
guess.
few. We'll let a few people know that an emissary is coming, but we're not expecting them like forthwith. Including Hilda, of course. And then I guess we'll head to the Mage Tower.
All right. Are you taking what method of travel are you taking to get into the village?
Boots?
All right. You
Yeah, sure.
you take the walk. It's a lovely stroll, and now that the lands have returned back, you can already see, like, the farmlands are starting to show progress in the fields. Color is back. Nature is healing.
Yay.
Eventually, you make your way into town, and then subsequently to the Mage Tower. You're greeted by the guards who send you up to Mustachio's office. And as you arrive, he seems to be basically just chilling, reading. You note that he has two books open. One is being held by his hands, the other being held by his mustache.
Normal stuff.
Mhm.
Alis is gonna lean into Bella and be like, I have done a lot of talking today, and you get the magic
All
thing more than I
right,
do.
I'll get this one.
Okay.
Says, "Oh, Bella, it's good to see you." He
Hey, how
sets
you
down the first
doing?
book and then closes the second, sets it down. I'm doing well. How did Dali perform?
All things considered, pretty well. We were a little bit surprised to learn some things about Dolly's facial hair, though.
Did he lose control of the symbiote?
One could say that, and
I mean,
not entirely, but
it was
to
more
some
like it was
degree.
trying to protect him.
Hmm.
We did have a hill giant hurled at us, to be fair.
That's true.
Oh,
Despite that, negotiations went about as well as they probably could.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't account for the possibility that there might be like just direct violence at a. I mean, that seems a bit untoward to attack people under a flag of
Well,
truce.
And it just kind of keeps looking at Bella. It's like, it was
only one of
something
them
upset.
did.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
Just one outlier that had a reason to be
Well,
upset
that's
at us.
all it takes. I've always said all it takes to spoil a party is one person to pee in the punch.
Ew.
Yeah, and he has always said that, so that's true. Like a weird amount of times.
I remember your
This-
fifth birthday very well, Bella.
Yes, so do I. Burned the punch bowl.
Okay, so this happened. Okay, that gives me a lot of context.
Well, don't you know? Anyways, speaking of context, we were just a little bit surprised to I guess find confirmation about the mustache symbiote.
Oh,
And
I would have expected your mother would have told you the story. It was one of her great deeds when she was here.
oh well,
Would never hear
told me
the
some
end
of it, but not all, as is tradition.
I see.
Just surprised to see students, I suppose. I wanted to just check in on that, learn what I could, see if there's a way that we could support it. Want to make sure there isn't, a problem growing right under our noses.
He
Bayless is
says,
going to kill me.
he says, well, I'm glad. I'm glad to have the help. You see, my bondmate had reached a level of development that it was necessary to reproduce the birds, the bees, all that sort of thing, and so he gave birth to 5 children. These
I will
children,
save the question for how that works for later.
I appreciate that. These children needed a host. If I did not find them one, they would die. If I did not provide one, they would likely attempt to escape and choose their own. So I chose 5 of the most promising students here and provided them the offspring. Dolly is the most disciplined of them. The
Okay.
others walk with me. He gets up.
You know, lean into Alice while we walk and say, see, I knew there was going to be a problem.
It's
Airplanes.
just. Mm. So, Mustachio, how long did it take you and your symbiote to reach an understanding?
It was very quickly, but it was under duress as well.
I see.
Yes, my symbiote understood that the others who had accompanied it in this dimensional breach wanted nothing but destruction. And once he bonded with me and was able to see my perspective on life and its great beauties, he saw it as something to be preserved. I assumed this would be a trait that
Right.
would be passed on to his offspring. Well, to be frank, until about a year ago, I hadn't even conceived of the possibility that he would have offspring.
But assumed, does that mean you discover that might not have been correct?
He pulls one of his books off his bookcase and says, "I'll allow you to be the judge." And the bookcase slides to the side, and you see a chamber. There is like a magical force field effectively blocking the door so no one can escape. But you see four of the students completely covered, one in green, one in yellow, one in black, and one in red. And they're just tearing the place up, swinging off the walls. The one in yellow has like a book that they like take a bite out of the corner of and start smacking on the ground. And the one in red is the only one that doesn't seem to have manic activity going about, but the way it sort of locks its gaze at you and smiles a smile that's far too wide for its face uh, sends shivers down both of your spines.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, I can see why our new friend Dolly was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
As
So our
unfortunately, if he's lost control during a diplomatic meeting, I may have to put him in the containment as well until I can figure out a way to get rid of them.
do you think it's likely that they'll have offspring too?
In 60 or 70 years, yes. I hope they have
Okay,
control
plenty of
over it
time.
before then.
Yeah, I think Dolly's fine. I just think that he should be kept on a very low stress situation, while he and his symbiote learn to work with each other. Symbiote has a little bit of an attitude problem, I would say, personally. Uh, and
They're just young. You were young once.
yeah, uh, yeah, yeah, I still am.
Eh.
Anyway, not that young. No, I think he's fine. I just think he needs to be in a calm situation while he works this out. Uh,
I'll see what I can do to
cons-
provide as much calm as I can. And you hear like a explosion as the tower rattles a little bit. Nothing. That's just fireball class. That's all.
yeah, well, if that's normal stress, then it'll be fine. Um, but these four
How is
students
Fireball
need.
class going this year? That's another potential flashpoint.
It's we have a pretty hot class this year. Uh, they're
But bitch.
yes,
Sorry, all mages are like this.
plenty of sparks of creativity. Yes, it is exact. It is how we fuel our magical energy is through terrible puns.
I just thought you all had the same sense of humor. Wait, Alita too?
What of a lady?
Oh, does she make jokes like this? Sorry, it's not important.
Yeah, you can ask her. I believe. I believe it. Slopping hour is coming up shortly. If you wish to
We've got to talk about that too, but not right now. You're okay. So you went through this before, right? In the dimension with the symbiotes and Bella's mom, I guess.
Well, no,
Uh,
a band of them came through a dimensional portal and attached themselves to some of our wizards. We had to, those that we couldn't slay, we had to push back through the dimensional portal, but I was able to regain control or retain control thanks to uh, our shared love of life and culture.
okay, so what happened to the wizards that they tried to take over last time?
The ones that didn't die were shoved back into their home dimension.
Oh, okay. With the
The
wizards.
wizards alongside them.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
How did
So
the
they
dimensional rift get opened?
It was an accident during a teleportation class.
pretty big accident.
We used to have a lot
Oh,
more of them. We've put some safety protocols and enchantments into the building to help prevent such things. But yeah, oh, when I was a senior here, I could tell you some stories.
would look forward to those in the future. It seems to me like, I mean, maybe I'm oversimplifying this. It seems to me like if they had something to connect over, like you and yours did.
Quite possibly, yes. I just can't
Yeah,
seem
that's as
to
far as I got.
I just can't seem to unlock what they are connecting over. It seems that most of those students have completely given over to their base urges, which for the most of them is simply disturbing and mischievous. But the red one gives me pause.
Yeah, that one kind of concerns me too. The way he's looking at me. But anyway,
In an awkwardly wave.
He extends a hand and waves 6 fingers at you, and then it shifts into an axe blade and back into a hand as he puts it back down.
Yeah, that's a little bit
yeah.
okay.
Mm, we might not be able to fix this like immediately, but now that we know it's a problem, we can be on the lookout for solutions, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, I am I making sure that these children are freed of their burden is definitely high on my priority list. He shoves the book back in the bookshelf. The case closes. Um, it's just perhaps not as high as dealing with the immediate problems that we have.
Right. Yeah, on that note, uh because I think it's a good idea for Dolly to be in a low stress environment, and you suggest another negotiator for further,
Representative.
yeah.
That's a good call. It's a shame. Our best negotiator is in the oubliette. Um,
Right. I mean, I'd
Get a
say
day
we could
pass. I'm not
see
sure
if
that
she
she
could
would.
come out. It's just, I don't know if she's even interested in negotiating on our behalf.
well, if you can talk her into behaving herself and helping, I am willing to uh, put forth to the council that perhaps a probationary leniency could be attempted, but uh, I don't see a world in which we would do it where we would not restrain her powers.
I think that's probably smart, at least at first, right? I mean, you gotta earn trust. Um, hey, no, that's great. Why don't why don't we give it a shot? We'll talk to her.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Wonderful. He
People
right.
probably don't get many opportunities to change if you leave them in a hold. So
Yeah.
Do you think that's the problem?
I don't think it helps.
Should we go? It's slop time.
Oh, that's right. We wouldn't want to miss it.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see you as always. He extends an end of his mustache around and hugs Bella with the end of the mustache as he extends a hand to shake Aelis's hand.
Shake the hand.
Likewise, Mustachio.
Thanks for the
We'll see you soon, okay?
information.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Of course. The mustache feels like it lingers a little bit longer than is comfortable as it retracts itself from the hug.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we head over to the oubliette.
All right.
Wow, that was weird, but it could have been weirder. Bit of a close shave.
Oh yeah. Every time I think you're just talking to me, and it's a pun. Pretty punny though.
Yeah, I could also talk to you. How are you feeling?
Well,
In particular, who we're about to go talk to.
you know, I don't want to see her stuck in a hole for the rest of her life. So if she's ready, then maybe this is a good opportunity.
And to be honest, I'm just going to glance around to make sure there's no one overhearing this. If the policy continues to be to put people that betray or upset or that the Mages Council don't like in a hole for the rest of their lives, it's probably only a matter of time until the conversation moves on to my mother and then me.
I'm not gonna let that happen. And if I can get Alita out, I'm gonna do that too. And
I think that's a good idea.
I just put a lot on my own shoulders, and I don't know how I'm gonna actually make, good on those promises, but seems to be working out okay so far.
It does, and it's cute.
As you make
Wait, you got all that hope stuff. It's adorable.
as you make your way
She's like,
down to the
blush.
Shoulder.
as you make your way down to the floor, you hear "Bulls up, bulls up." 43, bowl up. Sploop. You walk in.
So gross.
He's got just like a big ass bucket with a ladle. It looks exactly like it did when he was watering them. He says, "Oh, hey, look, it's the reformer. We've gone beyond bread. They get gruel now."
It's a start.
Bowl up. Ow! Ow! I didn't have my bowl up.
I just have to talk to Alita. Mustachio is going to grant her probation if she's willing to help us.
Wow. Sure. Yeah. You know where she is.
Yeah. Just gonna kind of look at Bella and yeah, okay.
Willing to write the council recommending probation. But yeah.
Right. This is just gonna go
We'll see
over to
what they
the whole.
say. Still, it's a start.
She looks up. Oh, hey, sis.
Hey.
How's life outside of a deep dark hole where you're magically imprisoned and everybody tries to forget about you?
Well, I mean, I haven't yet. Which might actually be worse. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not even trying. Also, hi down there.
Oh, you brought that one. That's cute.
Yeah, we're kind of like a unit now.
I just had gruel. Like there's nowhere I have no room left in my toilet bucket. If I upchuck right now, it's going to be a real problem. So can we cut to the point?
Okay, you don't have to be so rude. I understand you're stuck in a hole.
I don't have to, but it's one of the few things that I can draw enjoyment from. So
you can keep being rude.
That's pretty fair, to be honest.
We were hoping we're told you're the best negotiator that the whole place has.
Well,
Makes sense.
I was at one point. Yes.
Well, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. We're trying to broker peace with the giants, and Mustachio has said that you can come out on a probationary measure if you're interested in helping.
Why on earth would I trust him or you?
Well, it seems to me, honestly, you've got two choices. And one of them's stay in a hole.
It's
The
it's pretty good pretty good argument you made there, sis. Did I can't see from down here. Is her hand like directly up you, or is it more of like a strings thing?
No, that one came from me, actually. You don't have to help us. I'd rather you not be here for the rest of your life.
Like sticking her tongue out and just visibly biting it over and over and over again right now, trying really hard not to make a pun or say phrasing.
But I also can't make you want to help us. And that's fine. I get it.
I am incredibly bored down here. So if tap dancing for you and Mustachio and really like that one will get me out of this hole, then I'm happy to hear the council's offer. Sure.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, we are trying to reform the oubliette system, but that's going to take a lot longer. So,
Yeah. I noticed we have gruel now. Aside from a few burn incidents, it's been a nice change of pace.
well, I'm glad, but I'm also not particularly enthusiastic about the fact that gruel's something to be excited about. So, I know I can tell you already, I can give you a heads up. I can't change this. They're gonna want to restrict your magic while you're out of here for now.
Of course they are.
But
Well,
I'm happy to get it going.
being able to, see the sun and not have magic is better than being in a dark, dank hole and not having magic. So,
Okay. Well, hang tight. We'll get you out of there.
I wasn't planning on going anywhere, but now that you've asked,
Yeah.
I'll stay put.
No, you're right. Yeah, you just stay right there.
Clear the schedule.
And Aylis will stand up and kind of be like, but we really will be back soon. Yeah,
You
bye.
are still terrible at banter. Just go get me free.
I thought I did all right.
You did, and then you did not stick the landing at all. It was a great performance, and you just fell flat on your face.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Well, it's working for me so far. See you in a few minutes, sis. I'm just gonna kind of.
Honestly, it works pretty well. I think the you're wanting to ensure people understand your intention at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, the subtleties of sarcastic humor. I get it, but then I'm worried that somebody else isn't going to get it. She's saying this as they're walking out of the oubliette. I get it, and then I worry someone else is going to not get it, and then that maybe I said something that well, because sometimes when we were growing up, sometimes Alita would say something, and it was actually just really mean, and then she would say, "Oh, I was joking, you just didn't get it." So I always try not to do that. But hey, did you notice? Last time we talked to her, she said if she didn't have magic that it didn't matter, and now she's saying she'd rather see the sun. So that's something,
That
right?
does sound like an improvement.
Yeah, it made me happy. Let's go let Mustachio know.
All right. You make your way up and inform Mustachio. He calls the council together to have a vote. He brings you together in front of the council room and basically asks which of you will be speaking on behalf of the prisoner.
Do we have to choose one?
You both can if you so choose.
Why don't we both?
Yeah,
I think we have
um,
different, but equally important. Well, maybe not equally important. She's got the
yeah,
more important one, but perspectives on this, I think.
I think yeah, we have different. Yeah, definitely, both of us. We're both speaking on behalf of the prisoner.
All right. Well, I think we'll first hear Bella because she is a known quantity and because clearly Alice has another bite or two to take of her food. So,
I'm sorry, I'm really hungry.
no
No, I
apology.
have
That's
so much. I have so much food sitting on the side here. I'm just trying to sneak bites when I'm not talking.
By all means, grab a couple because Bella, what would you like to say to the
Yeah.
assembled?
So, as a person who has, to be honest, had the opportunity to change quite a bit, I'm not an expert, but I have some experience with what that takes. And I feel like being stuck in a hole as red water and gruel are poured on my head would be unlikely to foster an environment in which I would likely have changed my outlook or perspective or behavior. But traveling in safety, having conversations about what it means to have relationships with the people around me, and seeing more of the world than a wall in front of my face certainly did. It's not to minimize the harm that Alita did, but if you're gonna make use of her or get any good out of that situation or give her a chance to make up for it, I think sitting in a hole is an unlikely path to success.
That is fair. Your counsel is wise.
I know. Kicked me off.
And
Anyways.
you have done more personally than any other mage in this tower to illustrate the ability for one to choose their own path. So your words do not fall on deaf ears. Why don't you go ahead and roll persuasion and your choice of attribute. You may add your
Sure.
bond with Alice as enhancement, but I will also give you two
So
additional.
when I add it as enhancement,
Yep.
sweet.
And I'll give you two additional enhancement for your impassioned speech.
No.
Yay.
So you are at
Cunning and persuasion is 7 dice currently for Bella.
all right.
Oh, I have 2 10s on that. So I've got 5 on the roll, 3 for the bond, and then another 2.
Yep.
Is that
So it's
Damn.
10 successes. So
that's wild.
that is
Let's
a
go.
wildly persuasive argument. Mustachio, who's overseeing the proceedings, turns to Alice and says, "Do you have anything further?"
I'm going to be honest. Bella said pretty much everything. I uh I have personal interest in not seeing my sister rot away in a hole, but there's also the fact that I've been told she was your best negotiator. And right now, if she's willing to help genuinely, then I don't know if we can ignore that. We are on the precipice of war, and it's a war with people we've already hurt. And if we can avoid bloodshed on all angles, even if that means giving someone who's done wrong the opportunity to do right, I don't see a problem with any of that really. And I'm just hopeful that it turns out positively. But if it doesn't, you know that we're here. And we stopped her before.
That is all true and wise. I'm not even going to make you roll. The council will vote, and they vote unanimously. Their hands shoot up one by one, and they vote unanimously to allow Alis to be conditionally released, or Alis to allow Alita to be conditionally released, with two restrictions. The first, she will be bound in rune chains to prevent her from using any magic. And the second is that she is Alis's responsibility. You're
Okay.
effectively her bond officer.
Yeah.
If she
Cool.
escapes and you are unable to recover her, you will be held responsible for her crimes.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Two of the mages escort you down into the oubliette. They undergo a surprisingly lengthy ritual. It takes them about 40 minutes to perform the ritual to unlock all the various invisible magical wards that are keeping that oubliette functional. And they lower the shackles and say, once you've placed those on, we will break the final seal and let you out. You hear the clicking and see a flash of light in the oubliette. They say the final magic words, and the platform rises. And you see Alita, disheveled, filthy, a little bit thinner than she was the last time you actually saw her up close. But despite, and of course wearing the rune shackles, it's a bracelet on each wrist and each ankle, covered in runes that prevent her from using magic. And despite her disheveled nature, she smiles widely and says, "Thanks for the freedom, sis. I look forward to doing great things together." And that, I think, is where,
Welcome back.
I think that's where we'll wrap things up for this week. Any questions, comments?
I'm sure there'll be no consequences of this action at all.
I'm so
Nothing could go
disarmed.
wrong from here.
She smiled at me. Something is definitely wrong.
This was
I'm gonna have to break you out of magic jail, aren't I?
this is kind of the episode of Creepy Smiles. There was a bit of that going on.
Spoilers, she's got one of the symbiotes.
Wouldn't that be terrible?
That would be awful.
Any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns about today's session?
Thank you for another great session as always.
Well, thank you for playing.
Yeah, this was delightful. Thanks, Travis.
You all.
And thank you
make
for your
it
patience with
delightful.
me as I stuffed my face.
Oh no, not a problem
I
at all.
I was sitting right there.
personally, I will never forgive you for this, and I will have my
Sorry.
revenge.
It would go bad by the time I got it to you, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm glad you had it.
Yes, real life, including eating, always comes first.
Mhm.
It was taunting me.
I can imagine. I'm looking forward to enjoying a meal myself as soon as we get done here.
Excellent.
Yeah, same.
Let's see.
Enjoy your meals then. And thank you everyone for coming by.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's always fun.
Before we run off, though, we have everybody's favorite bit to do, which is experience for y'all.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I didn't get to do these for you last session, so we're gonna double it. You get 2 points for showing up. Congratulations! Yay! Did you achieve any of your short-term aspirations?
I actually rolled a success, which prevented me from achieving one of my short-term aspirations, which was to get hit by a giant. It's not Bella's aspiration, but it's mine for her.
Well,
The-
you'll have opportunities in the near future if it makes you feel any better.
Mhm.
I think so. Questionably, it looks like my current short-term aspirations are. I feel like I've already achieved that one and just forgot to mark it off. Was establishing the heroes as a recognized body.
Yeah, you can absolutely. I don't know that you'd establish them, so you can go ahead and take 2 experience for that.
Yeah. Yay! Thank you. And then the other one was time with just us with Bella, which I've definitely achieved recently. I think
Yes, absolutely. So
we had. So
2 more for that.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna have to come
Hell
up with
yeah,
some new
hell yeah.
ones.
I did have find something new and magical. I don't know if the symbiotes count as new
Yeah,
and magical.
absolutely. For you, it
Yeah.
does. You can take 2 points.
All right.
And
And did either of you get your long term?
I think I
Not yet.
did in a weird way.
What was your long term?
My long term is change relationship with Alita.
Oh, you've definitely done that. You can have 4 points.
I'm gonna actually have to level
That's an
give
ominous sentence.
Well, I mean, I'm her keeper now, so
Indeed. And let's hope she
Horrifying.
doesn't slip her bonds and, you don't find out that she's like secretly in love with one of those symbiote hosts or something like that.
that feels right. That feels
Yeah,
about
no,
right.
that feels expected.
Yeah.
She had like the lizard dude.
Yeah, she's into some stuff.
That's true. She
Yeah.
is. She is definitely experimental. And you have reached a story milestone in that you met with the giants and now have set up a negotiation with them, so you can both have 2 points.
Yay.
So, in the meantime, between now and next session, feel free to think on what you're going to spend. We'll make sure we do a moment for XP spends and tweaks at the beginning of next session.
I'm gonna put that in my to-do list.
And if any of your aspirations were resolved, please pick new ones. Also, since you both did resolve a short term, you both get 2 more points. So I'm just handing out XP left and right. It's an XP-a-thon.
Gonna spend it all on more dots, pariah.
I'm for it. Path increases are always a good expenditure as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
So just a quick note, I think we'd agreed 30 minutes late next session is for our start time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we could swing 30. Should be
Do
good.
we want to do an hour late just to give ourselves some breathing room?
To be safe, if everyone's okay with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally fine by me.
We'll be back 2 weeks from now for a slightly shortened session that will start an hour later. Until then, everybody, please make sure you get your shots. The new COVID shot just dropped in the States, so if you're stateside, go get your poke. It is good for you and everyone around you. I want to remind you again that Threats and Curs is available over at DriveThruRPG in advanced PDF. And of course, I want to remind you to please consider heading over to BackerKit and supporting our current campaign, the StoryPath Ultra Rules Manual. There is so much cool stuff going on with it. It's got all the guidance you need to build your own settings using StoryPath Ultra, and we've unlocked several stretch goals, including a limited license and StoryPath Nexus unlock for it. So those obviously will go into effect down the road once the book is out, but it's really cool seeing. I already have some ideas for what I would like to do with all that material available. So there's more stretch goals to unlock. Head over there, get yourself involved, get a copy. You can get a copy of the early text, I think as low as $5 gets you in on the preview text. So definitely check that out. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you again real soon. Bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, nerds. Pew pew.